When tech historians look back, they're going to circle February 3rd, 2026 with a massive red marker. Why? Because that's the day the ground literally shifted under the entire AI landscape. It's the day a single button triggered a meltdown of epic proportions, and it all started with a simple update that became a catastrophic failure. Let's dig into exactly what happened. All right, so let's start with the crisis itself. On the afternoon of February 3rd, what started as just a few whispers about lag, well, it spiraled into a full-blown global outage for ChatGPT. And believe me, this was no ordinary server hiccup. Okay, look at this. At 3:20 p.m., the outage reports didn't just climb, they went vertical. I mean, this is that classic hockey stick spike that every engineer dreads. It signals a sudden system-wide collapse. 1 minute everything's fine, the next it is just a sea of red alerts. And the scale of this was just immense. We're talking over 13,000 reports in less than half an hour. And this wasn't just, slow responses. For tons of users, it was a total failure. The web app was dead, the API was throwing constant server errors, and all those popular apps built on OpenAI, like the Codex coding tool, they were basically turned into useless digital bricks. So you have to ask, what on earth could cause such a spectacular failure? Well, to figure that out, we actually need to rewind the clock to that very same morning. That's when Google quietly, almost deviously, released a feature that was about to change the entire game. So before all this chaos, the AI world ran on this principle called ecosystem lock-in. Think about Apple's iMessage, right? The blue bubbles that keep you on an iPhone. AI companies thought your chat history was their version of that, kind of like a golden cage. The more you used their AI, the more it knew you, which made the idea of leaving feel almost impossible. And this created what people call a walled garden. If you wanted to switch from, say, ChatGPT to a competitor, you basically had to perform a digital lobotomy on your AI assistant. Sure, you could export your data, but you couldn't really use it anywhere else. You had to start completely from scratch, reteaching the new AI everything. The friction involved was just enormous. And then at 10 a.m., Google dropped this, Import AI Chats. Now, this wasn't just a simple file transfer. No, this was active ingestion. Gemini would literally digest your entire ChatGPT history, learn all the context, and basically update its whole understanding of you. You could pick up conversations right where you left off. So here's the absolute kicker. Google didn't just build a new feature, they built a bridge. In one move, they completely eliminated the data mode that kept users locked inside that walled garden. The cost of switching your AI went from this painful, weeks-long retraining process to a simple 5-minute upload. Just like that. And this leads us to the absolute core of this whole thing, the theory of a digital bank run. Think about this. What if ChatGPT didn't crash because too many people were trying to use it, but because too many people were trying to leave it all at the exact same time? It's a really powerful analogy, right? In a traditional bank run, everyone rushes to withdraw their cash at once, and the bank collapses because it just doesn't have all that physical money on hand. Well, in this digital bank run, a mass withdrawal of data creates a massive compute crisis that just completely overwhelms the servers. And that's because exporting your data is an incredibly expensive action for a server. It's not a simple chat request. We're talking about servers having to dig through deep archives, process millions of your tokens, package them all up, and get a download ready. Now, imagine doing that for tens of thousands of users at the exact same moment. It creates this debilitating spike in demand that the system just can't handle. And right here, this is the smoking gun. During the outage, OpenAI's own status page specifically mentioned errors in file-related services. So this wasn't some general system-wide failure. It was a failure in the exact systems that are responsible for packaging and exporting user data. Coincidence? I don't think so. People have started calling this a DDoS via migration, and it's kind of brilliant in a way. Google didn't need to launch a direct attack on OpenAI. All they had to do was create a massive incentive for users to all hit the most computationally expensive button on the platform at once. It's like sinking a ship not by firing a torpedo, but by simply pointing to a better boat nearby and watching as everyone rushes the lifeboats, capsizing the whole thing. This whole panic was then amplified by what's being called the scorned lover effect. It's this psychological death spiral. Imagine this. You're curious about switching, so you go to export your data, but the site crashes. Now you're not just curious, you're angry, right? You feel betrayed. And that failure just validates your decision to leave, which accelerates the exodus and, of course, deepens the crash. It's a vicious cycle. But look, this event wasn't just about one really bad afternoon for OpenAI. No, it marks a fundamental shift for the entire industry. The walled garden has collapsed. We've officially entered the era of what we're calling liquid AI. So what is liquid AI? Well, it's the idea that your data, your history, your personal context is no longer some solid block that traps you with one company. It's now a fluid resource. It's like a suitcase that you can carry with you as you flow between whatever the best AI provider is at any given moment. And you have to understand, this changes everything. If your context is portable, then raw AI intelligence just becomes a commodity. As a user, you're not loyal to a brand anymore. You're loyal to whoever has the best performance and the best reliability. Basically, brand loyalty is dead. This quote, it just perfectly captures this new reality. For all the talk we hear about AGI and sentient AI and all that flashy stuff, the future of AI competition might actually come down to something way more fundamental, way more boring. And here's the crucial point. For professionals, for businesses who actually rely on these tools, AI is now basic infrastructure. It's like electricity. When there's a blackout, you don't care about flashy new features on your smart TV. You just want the lights back on. The new killer app isn't some amazing new capability. It's simply uptime. So this brings us to the next frontier. In a world without lock-in, where our data is completely fluid, how are companies like OpenAI even going to compete? How will they keep their users? Because the old strategy is officially dead and gone. The whole strategy has to pivot from building these data prisons to offering actual retention perks. Companies are going to have to bribe you to stay. And this could mean anything. Maybe loyalty programs, like frequent flyer miles for compute power, or maybe you get priority access during peak hours. It's a whole new ballgame. And honestly, this could lead to an even more radical future, a marketplace for your personal context. Think about it. If these companies are desperate for high-quality data and users are completely mobile, the power dynamic completely flips. We could see a future where you can actually lease your data, your expertise, to the highest bidder, maybe for a discount on your subscription. And that leaves us with this final, really important question. The great AI migration proved that our data can be portable. So in this brand new world, if your data is the fuel that makes all of this go, shouldn't you be the one who controls the pump?